environment, it just means that the child is not exposed to the usual routine that we all have grown up in. They're exposed to only gadgets and gadget related technological environment, which is a part of growth these days. Due to this pandemic situation, our kids are under immense pressure because of the lack of socialization, that every mother is also finding it difficult to thoroughly occupy the child. So I'm going to directly go into the topic and tell you all the direct exact impacts that a mother actually experiences with a child who's between the age of 0 to 7 years. So when I say impact on environment on kids, I'm going to be covering four topics which a mother with kids should majorly focus on, and are the really worryable factors. One is that the main thing, adaptation. Because every kid now from 2.5 years till 15 years, they go to school. And due to this pandemic situation, we are in a status where we have to send our child to live classroom, from a live classroom to a virtual classroom, which is very very difficult. So we are going to see the adaptation difficulty that this adaptation can cause in terms of children and their growth. Then making schooling from home exciting. Not every mother is successful in making their homeschooling or schooling at what we say e-schooling happening these days very exciting for the child. So we are going to see how well we can use this opportunity and help our child. The third most important topic is tips. Everyone says yes, this is the problem, but solution no one knows. So this presentation will focus on tips to create a safe, nurturing environment to the children, so that their development is not under any hassle during this pandemic situation. And the foremost thing which I usually address is the health issues due to screen time. So இது எல்லாமே வந்து it's interrelated. These four topics are interrelated to each other. And finally, the child is the one who is suffering with equal disturbance from the environment and lack of socialization. So let me directly get into that. First of all, I think you all can see the brain development chart I've shared. In the left side, you will see a diagram where there is a description about left brain and right brain. In the right side of the graph, right side, you can see a graph representing the developmental patterns which happens in any children. So when I say the child's importance is only the first 2000 days, that is between 0 to 2000 days, first 5 years, நம்ம ஏன் important ன்னு சொல்றோம்னா, the from the period of consumption till birth, the child is in the safest environment through mother's womb. The moment the child comes out, the child is exposed to n number of things which happens at its peak between 0 to 5 years. That is, I think you all can see in the graph, the language, that is the communication part of it, which the child develops, is at its peak by 5 years. So அவங்களோட development from a child to a speaking adult happens between 0 to 5 years, and the neural maturation gets over by 8 years of old. We say that as neuroplasticity. The 0 to 8 years scholar brain is at its peak in learning, and every single minute contributes to the child's development in all modalities. So when we look into the functions of each brain, how well these brain adapt to different learning patterns, the left side of the brain, that is the right side of the body, is controlled by the left side of the brain, wherein left side of our body is controlled by the right side. So it is reverse way. So when I say the left brain is, when we say the child is dominant on the left brain, we have n number of skills the child can learn. Numbering skills, mathematics, spoken language, written language, logical thinking and reasoning, everything happens only because of proper function. The functions of right side of our brain, it's more related to do with creativity, imagination, singing, emotions, and all these factors are addressed by our right side brain. So when our right side brain and left brain are functioning in an equal manner, synchronized manner with our neural synapses, our learning, our the childhood developmental days, which I already said, that is 2000 days, when it's addressed by a parent and the environment properly, the child has a hassle-free learning environment. When there is an issue in this, in the 0 to 8 years, when the child is not able to get adequate input in learning these things and adapting these things, the child might have few issues. So I'm going to tell about the direct impact which any environment will create on the child. First, play. Even being adults, we have our own hassles, as in we are not able to play with kids. We are not able to spend as much as time when we were working. But now, being a primary occupation of a child is playing. They lack that play because they're not able to meet their friends, they're not able to go to school, they're not able to get along with their own neighbors. So that is one major impact which a child will go through. Every child is going through in these times. The next part is social interaction. As I already said, social interaction is not, if we will teach some concept to a kid, the child masters the skill only when the child is able to interact about that with his friends and take a conversation and build a conversation. When the social interaction is also hampered, the child will not be able to address their nature. From an active speaker, the child can become a passive speaker because from an introvert, a child can turn into extrovert because they lack of play and social interaction. When these two things are not addressed properly, when the issues are not addressed properly, child can develop n number of issues which will carry forward till the issue has been addressed. And the major issue every parent in these times faces, challenging task for us to understand what a child actually wants to do and how do we occupy them throughout the day. So when we say the child is not able to adapt to the changes, I mean everything. The change can be the parental pressure that the child is going through, the peer pressure, the pressure from the environment in terms of lack of environmental stimulation. All these things can actually make the child very docile in these times and sticking on more to the modality of learning, which we have already focused. So now I'm entering into the main important topic, that is impact of learning in classroom environment. When a child is learning in a normal classroom environment, the teachers play a major role in defining the foundation for a child. I guess all will agree to that. So, teachers and school is a place, live classroom is a place where the child lays their foundation in learning, and we are able to define the child's strength and weakness. Because of prolonged exposure in school to variable subjects and different teachers, different environment, the child is not away from the child is away from the mother, and the child is able to address his issues on his own. When we say the child is in a classroom environment, the mother is in a state where she is able to lead the child without any help from the family the kid is exposed to into the classroom for them to learn. And I've already mentioned in my graphs about neuroplasticity, which is supposedly to get over by 8 years of age. So when we say neuroplasticity, the brain development becomes adult form of brain by 8 years of age. So when we say neuroplasticity is attained by 8 years, the brain actually starts functioning and understanding things like an adult by 8 years itself. So any that is given from 0 to 8 years play a major role in the whole development and the child's life itself. And now with that, you see, I'm doing a presentation through screen, and you're all able to see it. That's it. You can see only till here. Oh,
Okay.
happening. We're not able to see anything else. This is just the visual modality I'm using to communicate with you all. Through headphones, I'm making myself audible to you all. When I say multimodality learning, which happens in school, means that the child is able to use the learning in terms of multimodality inputs from the teachers. When they say academic, behavior, personality, everything is determined only by learning. Example of multimodality learning, what I mean here is, if you want to teach a child, say apple, in school environment, the child is made to see an apple picture, is made to touch the apple, feel the apple. That is, touching gives them the tactile sensation of learning. They're able to feel the apple shape, the smoothness, the color. They're able to sense it, and the child starts learning how to spell an apple from a teacher. So, what I mean by multimodality as a speech pathologist, I would say is the child learns this through auditory, that is, they are able to hear the word apple, spell it as APPLE. The child is able to visually see, and tactile. They're able to touch the apple, feel it, so that they're able to disintegrate between other fruits and this. So, any person, any child who is exposed to direct learning will have these multimodality learning, which lays a strong foundation of whatever we are teaching, and it's not easily established through e-learning. So, but what happens when the child goes to virtual classroom? We all are facing so many issues in virtual classrooms wherein the child is preferring to play alone. The child is not accompanied by anyone in playing other than sibling. In these scenarios, there are many parents who are educating, who are having a single child. So the issue starts right there. They're not able to get along with their neighbors to play. They're not able to meet their classmates to have a very functional play, which is a mandatory part of every child in their developmental phase. Then poor peer interaction. They're not able to meet their friends in classroom. Any child who goes to school will at least spend about 5 hours in school. I'm not mentioning about kindergarten. I'm talking from grade one. Lender. They spend about 5 solid hours in classroom with kids. They share, they seek, they learn everything. The compassionate part of being having a friend and getting close to them, all these develops only in school. That part is missed when the child is attending online classes. They don't understand comments as I say. There are many people who are listening to the presentation now. This presentation would make a more very beautiful impact when it's made when I'm meeting the audience directly and doing the presentation. Wherein when a child is not able to see the happenings in the school and understand when it's displayed only through a recorded video, the child will definitely have an institution understanding the comments because I can hardly see 4 screens now. So with those reactions, I understand that yes, my presentation is understandable to everyone. But if I see the whole crowd here now at this point, I'll be able to know if people are able to understand what I'm saying. So this is the difference between live and virtual. And final part is lack of attention. Every child will have an issue in attention problem because uh, learning from a classroom, live classroom, will have its own effects because they're able to feel the classroom, teacher, volume, everything. Wherein when the attention gets diverted in a virtual classroom, it's only because of virtualness. They're not able to get the real learning, the real crux of learning. So they will develop lack of attention as well. What happens because of these virtual classrooms? Regular these mothers who we are addressing, who now will face whatever issues I'm going to mention from now on. Not every child will have all the issues, but these are all the possible issues a child can face. So it is an alarm sign I'm giving to all parents who are attending this program. This is about the issues which a child can develop, not that every child will develop all the issues. So be cautious in understanding these issues and taking it forward. The regular routine of a child gets disturbed when they start addressing in virtual classroom, which means Kalela, they wake up by 6:37, they get ready, they go in their van or respective transport to schools, they meet their friends, they have their prayer round, they go and sit, they greet every teacher who walks into the class. All these things are a big question mark in our virtual classroom where these things doesn't happen. So the child routine, the physiological routine gets disturbed because of virtual classroom, due to which the child is made to spend more time in class, in school, in house other than class. The child has issues to do with homework. I think many of us, I'm also a parent of 5.5-year-old boy. My child has an issue when I make him do the homework every day. My child is attending grade one now. He is having n number of homeworks from the school, at least 2 syllabus. He has his own task to do. When I tell him to do the homework, he says no, I like it when my mom teaches. So this is what I think every mother will be going through at this point of time. Do not worry. This is because they are used to that routine of live learning from classroom and doing things when there is an instruction, periodical hierarchical instruction given by the teacher. Next part is poor exploration and imitation skills. The child will not be able to understand the imitation. My facial grimaces and my expressions could be understood better when I'm doing it to a live audience than compared to a virtual audience. The same way with kids also, they will not be able to if I'm teaching something like in board concept, wherein the child is learning it through board, writing in board and understanding, his learning gets even more better. Wherein when the child is learning through virtual classroom, he is not able to implement what the teacher is teaching and directly imply that at home. So definitely there is a problem in imitating the activity the teacher says, and due to all these issues, they get very adamant that they don't want to continue this online classes. They get getting bored. They're getting bored, and these are all the issues, major issues that the child will face. And a very hypothetical problem which a child can have is right and left discrimination. Because when I say from my point of screen, I would say left side, it means my screen's left side, wherein a child, when he is seeing from his screen, it will be the other way. For a child between 0 to 8 years, it is since they're developing this discrimination part in their own directions, it is hard for the child to develop this right and left discrimination at the earliest. So these are some major issues of virtual learning. So what happens when the child is exposed to long-term virtual learning? They have poor sitting tolerance, as in no routine, because we lack routines. They're not able to sit long and learn or do an activity wherein which has been happening in school. They get very distracted. They want to take breaks often or just shut down the screen because they're not able to develop that interest and get into the classroom, as which can be easily established in a direct classroom. And they don't develop this habit of sharing and seeking help from their fellow mates because, as I already said, they are missing seeing them. They're not able to understand or cope up with the concept of sharing, which develops majorly in school. And the worst part is poor turn taking skills and waiting tolerance, because the child is not able to understand that when a classroom environment is happening, when a story is said, the child will understand the story in terms of, when a child is understanding the story, they will have different flashcards to learn. So every child will be given a routine and made to take a card, and probably the story happens in a step-by-step manner. So they would know which is their turn, when to stand up and read their card and explain what they have in the picture. These skills are at a stake when the child is learning through e-environment. And the other major issues are answering and augmentative skills. They lose their self confidence in answering because they're not addressing a crowd. Many of us have these problems wherein when we are addressing a crowd of say 10 or 15 people, not everyone is very audible or not everyone is very confident like others, the one or two who's actually speaking. So when a child is addressed or learning through a virtual classroom for a longer duration, they can have issues in answering skills, social anxiety. They would have that fear that once this virtual learning comes to an end and the child is going to face a real environment, they'll have problems in stage fear, social anxiety. And the major part of learning which we all feel happens is through group learning. When the child is taught in a group, the child will seek help from neighbors and learn in a better way, which doesn't happen in virtual classrooms most of the times. So, as we have already seen, these are all the sitting issues in terms of sitting tolerance and understanding what it is. So, now the child is made to sit and learn. What are all the possible difficulties the higher grade children, that is, from children from grade 1 till 5, can possibly develop are poor legibility in handwriting, that is, the handwriting issues. They would not be able to follow, a mother would not be able to depict how a teacher teaches at home. So the child learning in terms of writing and writing skills, where to use a uppercase, where to use a lowercase, all these are at stake when a child is learning through visual classrooms. And because of these issues, the child will not have issues. The child will have issues in writing, due to which they say, I have pain in my hand, I'm not able to hold the pencil, it's really difficult for me to understand this, so I don't want to write. So when these issues are addressed by a proper educated teacher who's handling the children, this will not be a problem which needs actually intervention. But wherein when the child is attending virtual classrooms for a longer duration, they are at risk for developing these issues in writing. And these egonometrical issues, which technically I would want to pen on, why I'm penning on here is that not many of us know why the child is not writing. We just say that the child is not writing, he's not holding his pen properly, his handwriting is not neat, he's writing in a messy way. We don't understand how the child is sitting. The posture matters a lot to the child because they would develop improper posture due to which their hand grip and pressure would have an issue, and due to which the final impact will be on the writing part of it. So a teacher can very well understand the sitting posture, the pencil holding posture, and the writing posture, which can actually develop only in school without any hassle. When these issues are not addressed at the right age, these issues needs professional help. I'm continuing the same thing. They would have reversals, as in where many child have this habit of repeating D for D, letter D, and M is reversed as W. These are all issues which most of the children will show in this sprouting age of grade one, UKG till grade five. But this can be easily identified by a teacher in a normal classroom and addressed. Only very few kids who has repeated errors will need a technical help from therapist. But these issues, as a mother, we will have to really rule out when they attend the virtual classrooms as to how they are writing. Are they mixing up capitals and small letters? Are they able to understand the sentences properly and depict that in words? Is there any spelling that they miss or add in the sentences? And how is the writing? Are they giving more pressure in their pen to make a dark impact or a mild impact? So these are all what I said. These handwritings, when not addressed properly, actually can lead to a stage where the child will need intervention or help from a therapist. So these issues can be easily identified only by a teacher. When as parent, as I don't know how many of you all are able to understand this, or a parent, when we are able to see these issues in a child who's on virtual classrooms, please jot it down, note it down, take help from your teachers, address these issues to the teachers. At least when the school starts again, the child will be able, teacher can evaluate the child and say whether this writing issues can be addressed by classroom teaching itself, or the child needs an intervention from a medical therapist. So now we have seen how we sit, how the child can have issues in writing. Then once the child writes, we have to read. We can actually depict reading when this child has learning issues in terms of spelling errors. As they add in the writing itself, when they start developing issues in the mixing of words or mixing of sentences, they would definitely have issues in reading the same, because when the child is made to read without guidance from a teacher who's seeing the notebook and telling that yes, these sentences are not right and probably he might need an individual attention, the child is going to read the same thing. And in the reading pattern itself, when we read normally in the school, when there's a full stop, we will make a stop. When there's a question mark, the teacher's intonation pattern changes. When there's an apostrophe, when there is an exclamatory mark, நம்மளோட intonation pattern changes when we are addressing these issues. So the child will have issues in learning these when they are addressed in a virtual classrooms. And example, many I have faced gone through this issue many times. My name is Sharanya. SHA, Sharanya. Virtually, I'm addressing few people now for my sessions and other stuffs, where people say my name as Saranya. It's not Saranya, it's Sharanya. So these are all the mispronunciation. This can happen because they're not able to understand where the letters should head to and how I should write. So the issues which a child can have is writing issues, reading issues. When not addressed at the right time, the child will develop this as a habit. So I mentioned all these issues, that is sitting tolerance, they would have issues, understanding, sitting for a longer duration can cause a problem in writing and reading. So when we say a learning system, I'm going to address you through a graph now, learning system. So what do you mean by learning? Learning is nothing just like, okay, I come to a virtual classroom, I'm teaching you, my learning doesn't stop there. No, you're not learning only by my lecture. You're going to understand, you're seeing my presentation, you're seeing my lecturing part, you're able to see the visual examples that I've given through my audio visuals that I've shared. If in case my class was happening in a live session, I would demonstrate on how these errors actually happen, how or a pencil holding can be explained in a live session better compared to these virtual presentations that I'm doing now. And the discussion part, as I already said, I don't know how many people are seeing this, how many really wants to discuss this topic, and how many is not able to follow my instructions. This can be addressed only when it's happening in a one-to-one session and practically doing. When a child is made to, when a child, when the mother is teaching the child to say, write, okay, pen. He writes it as PEN. When the teacher is teaching, she uses the board modality to teach, write the word pen, PEN, and the child is replicating that in a notebook. So when all these parts are addressed, our teaching gets into a good form of learning. The teaching is not just for the mandatory part that we teach and get over the syllabus. The ultimate reason for teaching is a child should learn. So the learning has to imply on all these factors to take its own path in easier way and the learning to happen efficiently. So now I'm going to, as I've already mentioned in the first slide, I've mentioned all the possible issues the child can develop because of e-learning. And I'm going to now give you tips to support this e-learning. We are in a condition where we are not able to happily send our children to school or to any social gathering, any extracurricular activities to do the learning. So what we can do is at least make this e-learning very easy and hassle-free for the mother as well as for the child, so that this pandemic situation is not handled at its worst even for a child. So what is mean by e-learning? E-learning is nothing just an environment which is not just the process of learning through the documentation or management system. It is created by interaction. That is, it's not just okay, virtually you're seeing something, you're reading something and learning. It's about interacting with a document which I've already developed. This presentation, this slides is the document that I've already developed with my own content on what I do and how I can my voice and my presentation skills are supporting in the learning, which I really wanted to emphasize to all of us. So e-learning should happen in such a way that the content is digitally already prepared with the best of examples and services to support the person who's learning, with a good preparation on our side who's going to teach to help them learn better. So one major tip which we all have issues now is every child will want a mobile or every child will want a mobile or a laptop in these days environment to learn, because every classroom is every mother is not able to support the child by a laptop. Many mothers are in a position to give their mobiles. So this is a mobile screen enlarger. As I've adapted this product from Amazon Prime, I'm attaching the complete screen so that it will help the mothers to buy. So this is called as a mobile screen enlarger, which I am currently using it for my home purpose, wherein if, all the time I'm not able to give my laptop to my son for learning. When my laptop is not able to function because of some other issues, I give them this mobile screen enlarger, which helps them to see the picture or the clarity of the image in a better view, and it will not strain their eyes directly. So this is one thing which I think all of us by the end of the session will understand. We cannot stop this learning now because of the pandemic situation. All that we can do is make this learning at least helpful and easy for the parent as well as for the child. This is one good solution for parents who are teaching through a mobile classroom. That is, when a mobile is given to the child to learn, we can at least use this technology to make the child's vision little better and save them from getting into their vision issues at the earliest. What are all the other tips which we usually as a therapist employ to our children who come to our center, who are learning through our online classes is that first thing I tell the parent is that do not encourage any session through a small screen. Small screen can develop issues, which I would address in the later part of the presentation. The second thing any teacher or a parent can emphasize here is that take frequent breaks, which is about in classroom when this child is learning in a normal classroom setup, they learn it with 45 minutes break for every subject. Supposedly the child is addressing English subject for the first time. He will have the session for 45 minutes. 45 minutes, there is a session over, then someone else enter mathematics or science with a break. When the child is learning, mathematics is interesting because for many of them, because it's all about numbers and it involves mind involvement in that, and we are physically involving our hands in learning. But wherein English or other science, it's about understanding what the other person is teaching and getting that into our brain. So every learning is not the same way. So when we take frequent breaks in between the sessions, And when we are going to shift the subjects often, it doesn't get boring for the child as well as for the mother who's sitting to keep the child occupied for a long time. It's an easy tip. So what next? As we all know that many of these sessions which happen these days are all not live. At least for the children in classroom, there are not much live sessions that is happening. So as a parent, as a responsible parent, what we all can do is that we can at least speak to the schools, teachers, request them for frequent live sessions wherein, example, the child in grade 1 is being addressed. There are grade 5 children. They can actually sit in the session with a story, say Lion King, example, say Lion King, yeah. The teacher can explore and example order, they can explain the situation of learning with pictures and cards, and the child can given their input and let this learning be a live session. This sort of sessions can be planned frequently to make the child understand that yes, the child is not left alone and his learning is made happy and hassle free. And the very important part of is playing. So when we say plan a group play or storytelling, what I mean here is that we as mothers, many of us are connected through WhatsApp and other social medias. So we can plan for live group play storytelling activity for a child through this where he's able to meet his fellow mates or classmates, close friends. They can sit and talk about a story, they can play cards, they can share the same concept of a game and use it via different modalities. So the child is virtually seeing his friend or his close relatives, cousins, or anyone for some duration of time, say half an hour, 45 minutes, at least a week, so that the child is also enjoying his time, not just by watching the screen. Then more parental activities which we actually can do now. I don't know how many mothers are working day and night now, but most of us are working from home these days. Most of us are working from home. We are not working around the clock these days. So half an hour, 45 minutes, every parent can definitely involve for the child. So let's at least plan more activities with the school support activities which a parent will also involve in learning. When you want to teach a concept of house, at least tell the parent to make flashcards or picture cards which is depicting their own house so that the child is able to learn and understand what a house actually means. Not just by a fantasy or a book house, which he's really not able to follow or take it to the brain to learn and understand the concept of house. So by giving more parental activities, it gets easy for the parent also to involve and sit with the child to know how well my kid is performing and what and all help my child is needing in the learning process. As I already said, 0 to 8 years is a very crucial period for our brain development. So when the parent is involving in these live learning, it gets easier for a parent to rule out whether the child has issues. If the child has issues, is it a major issue or a minor issue, and how do I go about handling them? Next one is token. I don't know how many of you know this. I like when I'm reinforced. Example, when I go for a presentation, when I do something, I like someone when someone says, "Wow, you've done really well." When I get a present, there's no. I don't think there's one single person who doesn't like a gift or a present when they're rewarded for an activity that's been done. So when you can actually script your child's week. Supposedly the child is doing whatever the mother requests, simple activities like making bed, helping himself during bathing time, playing with his sibling. When all these things are done properly without with major support from the child and the school as well as the parent can reinforce the child by giving a token of gift. That could be anything that the child really wants, that will encourage the child to sit and do more and at least follow parents instruction and teachers instruction in these periods. Now, what I mean by learning resource from school, it's not just the textbooks and the notebooks that we get from the school that I'm mentioning here as learning resource. I know a school where they are sending a box full of materials that's being taught here. The use of materials to help the child to use the same at home. When I say I'm using a mobile, when I'm teaching using a mobile, this mobile can be a toy which can be sent to a person who's learning to know the operations and to know the functions of it. The same way, when the teacher is introducing a concept to learn or a story to tell, they can at least involve those same toy which they use in the learning process at school to the child, so that they get to know how it is, and they will, as I already mentioned, multimodality learning can be a resourceful part when the child is able to get access to what they are actually learning through. So if we are in a position where the child is having only online sessions which are pre-recorded, we can request the school for learning resources which can actually help the child, at least cheer up the child for learning and making it a hassle-free learning. And I've seen many parents saying that I switch on the laptop, I give him the session. When I go after half an hour, I see him not listening in front of the system. He's playing some game or he's just closed the screen. This happens because the lack of interest. There is no one to support at home. There's no one sitting to see if the child is able to follow the instructions. So when we say parental involvement, it's not just about providing laptop or a mobile in learning. It's about sitting with them and making sure the child is following the instructions to help them as a teacher. A mother can be a teacher when this situation happens and help the child learn. And activity sheets. When a maths teacher is addressing mathematics and they say counting and missing numbers, when that is not practiced at home with activity sheets, it gets tough for a child to register the missing numbers, ascending order, descending order. When these things are practiced at home with activity sheets, the learning gets fulfilled and the child is also being occupied without any gadgets or in boredom with the help of these activity sheets. So these are all the tips I've actually given to enhance learning, enhance e-learning and make it little kids friendly and parent friendly for these pandemic situation. If any one of you can adopt this learning part, use this learning part, or speak to the school management and get help from them and make the learning very cheerful, I'll be really happy in that, because these are all few tips as a mother I have employed for my kid, and I'm seeing fruitful results in that. And now coming to our part, what we have children with difficulties in learning coming here to us, we address them every day. How do we start our e-learning? When very lousy day, the child gets up in the morning, he has his glass of milk and he's made to sit in the class, he gets bored. Wherein when the child is able to do some brain activity, brain gym, the technical word is called brain gym. When he has a brain gym activity, it gets really easy for the child to get physically and mentally involved in the system of learning. So, physical activities, this brain gym is a defined set of 26 activities. You need a brain gym instructor to help the child. Wherein school people can actually use this modality at least as a part of their e-learning curriculum, say 5 to 10 minutes every day of brain gym activity, and make the learning very, very interesting. Next thing which we all fail to do is rewarding a good performer every week. There will be a child who is able to follow the mother's instruction, teacher's instruction, but the child will lose interest at some point because they're getting bored. They easily say, I'm bored of this, I don't want to do this, because they are not recognized for what they're doing. So when we can reward the child, okay, you've done the writing part really well. I have a board called a naughty board, which I was using to address my son's issues which he doesn't do. Now that board has been converted into reward board, where every week I reward him for some or the other thing. My family encourages him for the same thing. If in case 1 week he has not been very adamant, not asking for gadgets and productively playing with his toys, then he gets a reward as a good player. Gadget free week. Summer, my son's name is Summer. Summer has had a gadget free week. So this rewarding can help the child boost up themselves, and they would want to do as many as activities that we give. Then there is some activity which we all fail to do as mothers also. There's something called as cycling and sport jogging. When I say sport jogging, it just means that the child has to stand in a small box or a very confined space and jump to cheer up his physical energy, get him his physical energy and start jumping with it. So this can be a part of our e-learning. We can start with these things so the child is feeling good, at least physically good and mentally attentive for about 45 minutes of session. This can actually boost up the child's energy and brain activity as well.
ஏய் அவன் கிட்ட போடா வைத்திக்காரா
The next part is about creating a parental group and creating a thematic learning. As I already said, teachers with the help of parents can create a theme. If the child is in kindergarten, we can create a thematic learning wherein this week theme could be about house. So what and all we learn from a house? What help do you do to your mother? What are the things that you see in your house? What do you see in your living room? What do you see in your bedroom? These ways the parents can attach some pictures and help the child in telling what and all the main things that they see in the living room, and what are the routines that is happening at home. So these parental groups can encourage the child. One parent can actually give some tip to a child which will work wonders in any. So these parental networks can actually help the child and the mother to support each other in this pandemic situation. So I have addressed about all the issues and the tips which a child can easily adapt in learning, which a mother can employ here. Now I'm going to mention about the health hazards. That is the final point which I really wanted to first. The health issue that e-learning can possibly cause. As I already said, posture. As you all can see in the picture, when a child is not seated properly and when the child is not sitting in a position, his muscles and starts getting strained in terms of neck and shoulder, wherein they start developing a gradual pain and they don't sit for a longer duration. That's when they get distracted or they don't want to attend the session. So when the posture is being corrected properly, the child will have adequate time in learning and sitting activity. Then the eye strain. We should not employ mobile for a longer duration classes. If you're going to use mobile, then the eye strain would stay like this, and we are going to hamper that more and more. When the eye strain is not being addressed properly at the right time, this can develop into a serious major health issue. So we have to really watch out on the eye strain that the child is developing because of the screen time. So when we make our screen time very productive and useful, and for a shorter span with long gap in sitting, this can actually help the child stay away from this eye strain. So the child is not able to sit properly, the child has eye strain, the child is developing a muscle pain. All these things would have an impact directly on the child's sleep pattern. Technically, the child should be sleeping for about 8 hours because the brain development happens mostly during sleep because the brain needs rest so that the energy is boosted by the next day for learning. When the sleep also gets disturbed, the child has absolutely well, any mother would not want to have this issue, which I mentioned in the last, digestion issues. When the sleep is not proper, when the child is not involved in any physical activity, when the child is having muscle strain, the final end point would be a digestion issue, which would end up in a major complication for the child when the child is sitting on a screen time for a long duration. So these are all the concerns which a mother has to really take care when the child is sitting on e-learning. So the technology should be addressed properly, as I already said. The learning has to be very in an innovative way. The screen has to be kept away. The mother should be involved in it. The curriculum should be very friendly for the child, thematic based, easy by the parent and the teachers. When these things are addressed through the services, online service properly, then the e-learning gets really, really fantastic. So it's our duty to rule out whether we are addressing the technology, the curriculum, very friendly for the child so that the teaching, the e-learning happens in a very fruitful way. So now I'm going to give few tips for the mothers regarding the kids and screen time. So this is how all of our kids would technically be when they are sitting on a screen time. What happens is that nowadays these scenario kids are not growing up because of the play, the environment, how we have grown. We have grown in an environment where there was no TV, not many people had TV when we were growing up. We were playing, we had siblings, we had cousins. But these days, kids are growing up surrounded by digital world. Their world is revolving around Alexa, mobile devices, computers, and TV. So when these things are only developing our child, at least we should know what duration of time period the child should have mobile or gadgets so that the child environment is also kept safe during these sprouting stages. So between 0 to 18 years, as I said, the communication part plays a major role in this. 0 to 18 months is the age where the child starts to speak, the child starts to walk, the child tries to get independent in terms of walking and talking. They start saying Amma, Appa, Anna, all these words by 18 months. So when these times the child is exposed to screen, definitely the child will have an impact in terms of communication, in terms of play, because they will not be able to engage with their siblings or friends in playing. They will not know how to play technically. They will not know an activity. That is, example, when we tell the sign, child to clap his hands when we sing. Clap your hands, clap your hands. They'll not be able to because they're not learning that. They're not technically knowing how to clap their hands. This input is very, very important because when the child is able to fidget with his hands and learn, it gets really, really easy for the child to employ or occupy his hand in terms of eating and picking up things, which plays a major role in writing also. The next thing would be the story time, as I already said, than directly seeing when the mother or family member is telling a story, bedtime story for a child. The actions and exaggerations are directly seen by the kids, which gets really, really easy for the child. When these things are at stake, the child will develop an issue in terms of communication and physical development. Then it's between 15 months to 2 year old, which is a very crucial period because the child starts seeing the world like an adult. They start exploring people, exploring friends, getting to meet others other than family members and parents. So these are the time what we can do is we can be a co-viewer in our session. That is, when a child is taking a mobile or a gadget or sitting in front of a TV, we can also sit with them and tell them how do they learn. It's just that they have to know how to use. If a parent is occupying a child through YouTube, say some rhyme, we can actually sit with them, teach the rhyme to them, show the actions to them, and teach them with that. And once the video is played for a minute, I would request all the parents to reinforce the same by repeating those actions that is being learned in the video, by clapping hands, putting your hands up, hands down. This will encourage the child to depict what they've learned through this video and at least experiment whether they're able to do that properly or not. We will also get to know how good is the imitation skills that our kids are developing. Then guiding their experience. So this would actually be a very technically hassle-free learning when the child is having a time where they or in a video or an app, if you're going to teach them, that will have an impact when they see the same on a picture book. So when a child is learning a story, that when the same story is shown on a picture book also, the reading or the learning gets really easy, and the concept, what they're learning in the story, gets registered in the brain. So when these gadgets are going to be used, at least if we go to mainstream it like this, it gets easier for the child also. So, how is about the screen time between 2 to 5 years? A major phase where the children go to get independent, they start going to school, meeting their friends and teachers. This is where they, even if the child is not exposed to gadgets, some kids would get exposed to Montessori big screen for learning rhymes in school. Some kids would have his own friend who would rant about his screen time at home with his mother's mobile or gadget. So, how we can use this 1 hour is, let's schedule a time. That is, family time is a time where we sit for the supper together, we all sit together. That time no one would use a device, which means the child will also know the importance of family time. He would not want a gadget while eating food or eating breakfast. These routines can be set so that the child will not want a mobile when they want to throw some tantrum when they're eating. Eating habit is a major habit which the child has to actually feel the food, eat the food. When this is being substituted with the mobile, the child is not able to sense what they are eating, and that food just goes in like a bolus without even knowing. The child would not sense the taste or the order of the food. We can actually be selective, which is we will also sit with the child. We will know what and all apps the child can see. This will at least help the child being restrained from videos and applications which the child should not see or which is not required for that age. And as I've already mentioned, we can be a co-viewing content. We would also sit with them and see what the child is seeing, and make the child repeat that through actions or any modalities, so that we would know the child is learning. It's not just simply viewing. And once this 1 hour is over, the immediate instruction which the child between 2 to 5 years needs is that get out of that. This app or a video is given only for 1 hour. Once that is over, you have to get out of that and play with it. What are the when I said health issues, I've mentioned in gross that they would develop feeding issues, that is digestion. They would develop issues in their shoulder pain. So when I say obesity, digestion issue can actually cause a problem in terms of weight mainly, because if they're not physically playing, they're not able to get on the floor, run and play like others. So due to this, they develop obesity. They have a very bad sleeping habit, due to which the real play is totally aggressively stopped, and the child is not able to take a simple mockery, or when the child is being bullied, the child has to develop this confidence of addressing that. And the child is seeing only that on screen and not being able to address the same at home or facing it for himself, he will not be able to develop the confidence to address these issues. Then I've already clearly mentioned any long time gadget exposure would lead to vision impairment. That could be in terms of strain, weakness, or getting our eyes really dry. And all these for a longer duration can even impact to a level where the child will develop short sightedness at a very early stage. So ultimately, because of gadget, one thing that we all miss at this pandemic situation, we are not able to meet our extended family members. We're not able to have a social life which we had with our friends and neighbors. We miss all that. So when a child is exposed to gadgets, the child is going to have this throughout his life. We have had a happy, healthy phase where we have gone through all that. Now we are in a situation in a lockdown phase. We are not able to address our friends or meet them and get together with them. When these kids start having a longer screen time, there is the social skills which a child should actually know, which the child should develop in the early stages, would definitely not develop at any point of time. So I have mentioned the four headings which I've already mentioned. That is the inputs, that the adaptation difficulties that the child will have. How do we go about the tips to address these adaptation issues, the health issues that the child will develop, and what the duration of screen time which a parent can employ for their child. So I guess with that, I'm done with the topic for the day. Now this is open for discussion. Any doubts or any queries, you can get in touch.
Participant, you have any queries? Kindly ask us. Kindly put in the chat box.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Actually, I'm not having any kids. Now only newly married. I know one kid, ma'am.
Okay.
He's 4.5 years old.
Okay.
Actually, he's taking a speech therapy. Now he is going to hospital and taking a speech therapy test.
Okay.
He is not listening properly. What can we do for that one?
Actually, you should. It's
We are
the
saying the child name. He is not listening properly. We are saying Hari Hari. He is not listening.
no. Is it just about speaking therapy, or have you checked his ears? Whether he, because now you're able to understand what I'm communicating to you, right? That's why you're able to see what I'm saying. If you're not able to see what I'm saying through my lip movement, and if you're not hearing it, you will not be able to understand what I speak.
He's not
So this,
speaking properly also. Just he is talking mummy, daddy. That one only he is talking.
that's what I
We are
said.
he can't understand anything.
Okay, no, it's not about just about communication. No? The child has to understand first to
Okay.
communicate better. So the child is having issues in understanding, whether that could be not just a plain speech issue, that also can have inattention issues, attention issues, hyperactiveness. So when these things are actually issuing or bothering the child will definitely have issues in communication. So we have to actually see whether the child is having issues in these also, or it is just these issues which is only related to communication. When the hidden issues are addressed, the child might develop intentions to communicate also. So we have to rule, as a parent, we have to rule out where the issue is and how do I go about it.
Okay. Thank you,
So
ma'am.
you can get an evaluation done by a pediatric developmental pediatrician or by an occupation therapist to rule out if there is any other hidden issues the child is facing, and due to that the child is not communicating.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We have a question. Kalpana. Kids are doing more tantrums at the time. What can we do?
Time out. I as I already said, I have a son who is 5.5. He does the same to me most of the time. We go to a shopping place, we go to a mall, like no, before pandemic. He used to throw tantrums on gate because he's a single child, so he always throws tantrums. All that I would tell, and what I was doing is that I would just walk away from the place saying that I'm going. If you want, you can come with me. The child will stop tantrums when we don't address to the tantrums. When we stop responding to that, the child will stop tantrums. That should develop not only by us, the whole family has to employ the same thing. So when we are doing it together, it gets really easy. So do not address the tantrum. Sorry? I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
From your point of view, which learning is better?
I would suggest direct learning, definitely not a virtual learning. And I'm not a person who supports homeschooling because the child, as I already mentioned, any child who's done homeschooling will not know, will have loads of issues in adaptation. They will not be able to adapt to the environment which we have faced. We have faced people bullying us, teasing us. We have faced people who would laugh at us. We have played, we have had social play. All these a child would miss at this point of time because of virtual learning or homeschooling. So any kid, at least till the grade 5 or grade 6, he should have a regular schooling to know the feel of school and to know how the child should adapt to different environment without the mother.
Okay. Another one.
Yes.
What are the ways to divert the child by seeing mobile while they having food?
You don't have to give mobile at all. All that you can do is that if the child is asking for a rhyme, this is what I did to, I tell many parents, when the child is asking just for a rhyme, play the rhyme, keep that mobile inverted so that the child is able to only listen to the rhyme and feed the food. This takes loads of time in terms of converting this practice because the child will all of a sudden on one fine day he will not say okay mama I don't need mobile.
இந்த क्वेश्चन எழுதாத புக்ல இருக்குல்ல
Participant, kindly mute your mic.
இந்த ஆறு
And one more question from Sindhu.
Yes.
My first kid is 10 years old. He does not listen to my words and he is not friendly with his brother also.
How are we friendly with the kid? What do you mean by not friendly? How did he learn not being friendly with this kid? Are we diverting that, like Sindhu, if you are diverting your times to the mostly to the second kid, then this issue is normal. They will have this issue. If you want the elder one to play with the younger one and have a serious communication where the child is being responsible, then we have to be responsible to the elder one in making them do. I know a friend who actually gets this work done for the younger one by addressing the elder one. She would say the elder one to do the routine what the mother actually wanted to do the younger one. We have to educate the elder one to do that. And I've already put those things also. Everyone would do the certain things when they are rewarded. So we should know how to get things done by a child. We would know as a mother, we should know what my child really wants, what I should do to make him do what I really. For homework or a school work, the child is not showing interest, or something which we really want our kid to do and he's not doing. Then that's the time we should know what will make the child do. What should I do to make the child do? My kid example, as I'm taking as a mother here, my kid loves toys and reinforcers. So yeah, I want him to do certain things. All that I tell him is that you want to do these things, you will have to finish your homework, and once you're doing all this for without any hindrance, then I would also support you with a toy. So when the child is going to develop this habit, then it gets really really easy for all of us to teach to the child that yes, you have to do it, no other go. And second thing, start rewarding or appreciating the child for simple things that he does, that he feels proud in front of his sibling that okay, Anna is doing something and Amma is very proud of him, so I should also do that. The younger one should never feel the pressure that, sorry, the elder one should never feel the pressure that the younger one is being treated special. Have I answered
Do
your
you have
question?
more questions?
One more question is there, Subhi.
Yeah, please.
What is that?
My kid is going to be 4 years while writing. My
Okay.
son's hand is sweating.
Okay.
His hand is getting wet. Any reason for this? Please guide me.
If your child is having sweating only while writing, or is it while doing any activity in terms of picking up a pegboard, doing a pegboard, or staking rings? எப்போல்லாம் அந்த sweating இருக்கு?
Um,
Uh,
by
Hello, Charanya. I'm
Yeah.
Sujata here. My son only is getting like this. He's getting when we practicing him, when we making him to write
Okay.
or play. Normally, he is getting few times he is getting sweat like this in hand. His legs also becomes very chill.
Then I think you need an intervention by a pediatrician on this.
Pediatrician, I checked with the pediatrician. Pediatrician told, I consulted 2 or 3 pediatrician. They told it is normal. While growing, it will be normal, like that they are saying.
No, is it sweating like completely? It will be wet, or he starts having this itchy feel or not holding pencil?
No itchy feeling and all, only wet.
No, what I mean by itchy feeling here is that he would start rubbing his hand or
No,
losing control
not
on
like that.
pencil. Not like that.
Not like that. Is getting wet.
Ma'am, have
So
you
we will wipe it with tissues.
okay? Have you tested him with a dermatologist?
Dermatologist, I didn't consult. I'll consult.
I think you can do that because they would know the reason for excess sweating, and if
Okay.
there is some hormonal imbalance or issues involved in this, they can address that
Okay.
really well. If
Thank
even
you.
as without all that, also the child is sweating or having issues in writing, I think we need to consult occupation therapist to rule out if the hand has an issue in writing.
Okay. Okay. He is not having any issues in writing, but he started now only we are teaching him writing. So he started learning.
You can
But
probably
sweating
see
is
the writing part for
dermatologist.
another 6 months and consult a
Okay.
dermatologist. Wait for
Okay.
6 months. If things are not happening then also, then I think you can
Okay.
consult an occupation therapist to rule out
Okay.
why there is problem only when it's about writing. It's not about playing or holding things.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Your session is so informative for us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
I am Satyapriya.
Okay.
Okay, I have 7.5 years old kid and 5 years old kid.
Okay.
So I feel like they're not satisfied. Like whatever you provide them, they're not satisfied. I mean, like, see, occasionally we used to go out for dinner or something. So currently we don't have, due to this lockdown, we cannot go. So I try to check so many videos in YouTube and then try do something for them. But still, not only on this, like whatever toys they have or whatever we provide them, they're not satisfied. Always they
How?
complain on things, and I'm also working.
Okay.
So I
What
don't know
sort of
how to
complaint
address this,
when
ma'am.
you give
I
a
become
toy?
very impatient. Most of the times I become very impatient.
Okay, when you give a toy, new toy, what is the reaction? What sort of complaint they give for a toy?
That is like for 1 or 2 days, they'll be very interested to play with that. So
Okay.
third day, if it is a battery car or something, third day the battery will go off and they'll lose interest. They don't want to change or charge the battery and use it again.
That could be probably it's about lack of interest because they are getting bored often because when we get a toy we tend to
Okay.
play with that more and more, so we get to know the complete working part of it. Once we know okay this is how it is, we lose interest in that. When you have a restrained time, that is for 2 months once, if you're getting a toy, the child will have an eagerness or waiting towards buying the toy. When that toy is given frequently, or when you give them frequent outings or frequent food and ask them how it is, definitely these complaints would raise them. But at this point of time, we can involve them in that. We can ask them what sort of toy they wanted to actually play with, or we can sit with them and see. If you buy them a car, you can tell them to actually depict the same car in picture for the next third day. Fifth day, you can tell them to color that card which they have depicted in terms of image. That's about playing. About eating, you can ask the child what food they really want to taste and what food they want to try at this point of time, and try involving them in cooking. Once the child is seeing the mother who is doing this, they will also be interested in being a part of it. Sorry. At the end of it, we can tell that yes, you have helped me in the kitchen in doing this dish, this is done by you, the response would definitely change, Satyapriya. So I think you can try this option.
ஓகே மேம். பட் ஸ்டில் என்னன்னா, நான் வந்து இப்போ ஒர்க் பண்றதுனால நமக்கு குக்கிங் டைம் எல்லாமே ரொம்ப கம்மியா இருக்கும். ஸோ இந்த டைம்ல அவங்க இன்வால்வ் பண்ணும்போது கொஞ்சம் டிலேஸ் ஆகும். ஸோ அதனால அவங்க இன்வால்வ் பண்ணாம நம்ம டக்குன்னு முடிச்சுட்டு வேலைக்கு போகணும், ஒர்க் பண்ணணும், அந்த மாதிரி இன்டென்ஷன்ல நம்ம இருக்கனால.
இல்ல, ஒரு நாள்ல ஒரு ஸ்நாக்குக்காக அவங்களை இன்வால்வ் பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே. சோ எனக்கு சம்டைம்ஸ் ஐ ஃபீல் என்னது ரொம்ப டிப்ரெஸ்டா நான் ஃபீல் பண்ற, ஒருவேளை குழந்தைங்களை நம்ம சரியா கவனிக்கலையோ. ஐ திங்க் நீங்க இந்த செஷன் மாதிரியே என்ன மாதிரி மாம்ஸ்க்கு நீங்க இன்னொரு செஷன் பண்ணீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும் மேம். ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு.
இல்ல, I'm also going through the same thing, but we cannot do much about it because this will have this impression because you are doing the whole thing. உங்களுக்கு முதல்ல இருந்த டென்ஷன் விட இப்ப டென்ஷன் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கிறதுக்கு ரீசன் you are sitting at home and doing your work wherein the child is not able to get occupied. Obviously occupying them and feeding them good, and we, one more thing, we cannot just be excelling in anything. Okay ngla, now
Correct,
we are in a situation where we have to put but now I've come for this session live. My clinic is at Sai Baba Colony. I reside elsewhere. I have to travel half an hour to reach my place. I've put my son with my husband and they both are playing. He is playing in the car park with his cycle. I have made sure my husband is occupying him for 1 hour. Kandipa என்ன மாதிரி ஹஸ்பண்ட் பண்ணுவாங்களா தெரியாது. யூசுவலி he let him play. அவரோட ஸ்டைல் வந்து he'll say விழுந்து கத்துக்கிட்டோம் குழந்தை, he will not lose touch. But I am being a mother, I would not want that. நான் ரொம்ப காஷியஸா பார்த்து சொல்லி கொடுப்பேன். When I go back, டெஃபினட்டா அவன் ஏதாவது கம்ப்ளைண்ட் பண்ணுவான், I did this, I did that. இவரும் சொல்லுவாரு இவன் ரொம்ப சேட்டை பண்ணாத. இதெல்லாம் நார்மலா தாங்க இருக்கும். Don't panic on this. When you're working, make sure the child is occupied in a better way, not on gadgets or phones. And நீங்க நாளைக்கு குக் பண்ண போறீங்க அப்படி சொன்னா இன்னைக்கே கேட்டுருங்க என்ன நாளைக்கு வேணும், ஃபுட்டுக்கு என்ன வேணும். அண்ட் இப்போ 8 o'clock 9 o'clock ஆஃபீஸ் ஷெட்யூல் உட்கார்றீங்கன்னா மேக் யூர் ஃபுட் டே ஃபார் தட் டே சிம்பிள். ஸோ தட் அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு சின்ன வேலை 10 நிமிஷம் 1/4 மணி நேரம் உங்களுக்கு குழந்தைக்கு நீங்க எம்ப்ளாய் பண்ண முடியும் குக்கிங்ல. அண்ட் திஸ் டிப்ரெஷன் இஸ் நாட் கோன் டு டேக் அஸ் எனிவேர் குட். ஸோ it's going to, this shall pass too. That's all I can say. Don't worry. You give your best in everything. Do not expect the kids to be doing extremely good because they are also going through the same thing. நம்ம சொல்லிடுறோம் அவங்களுக்கு சொல்ல தெரியாது. And kids will have their own ups and downs. We will have our own mood swings. Just for time being, ignore this and focus on something which will keep you motivated.
ஓகே மேம், ஷூர். ஏன்னா இந்த சான்ஸ் அவங்க யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு தே வாண்டட் டு வாட்ச் டிவி, இல்ல ஃபோன் பார்க்கணும், டேப் வேணும், இந்த மாதிரி நம்மள ரொம்ப ஃபோர்ஸ் பண்றாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி இப்போ நம்ம ஏதோ அஃபிஷியல் கால்ல இருக்கோம்னா இந்த டைம்ல தான் அவங்க வந்துட்டு இல்ல எனக்கு இப்பவே ஃபோன் போட்டு கொடு, இல்லைன்னா டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணுவேன், லேப்டாப்ல க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி, இந்த மாதிரிலாம் பண்றாங்க.
நீங்க நம்ம பழைய விளையாட்டுலாம் இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? எவ்ரி வீக் ஐ கிவ் 1 toy to my son. That is கேரம் போர்டு ஒரு நாள், ஒரு வீக் செஸ் ஒரு வீக், இந்த மாதிரி நீங்க டிஃப்ரெண்டா ஒரு வாரம் புதுசா கொடுக்கலாம். And this week from in my house, this week we are setting up a room for my son. So அவனுக்கு டாய்ஸ் எங்க வைக்கணும், கபர்ட்ஸ் எப்படி அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும், ஷெல்ஃப் எப்படி அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும், அவனோட பெட்டிங் செட் எப்படி அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும், எல்லாமே அவரு he is doing with the help of our help. So this week is occupied that way when I am doing my work. So we tell him that you have a room now, you are going to do it on yourself. நம்மளால வேற அவங்களை ஆக்குபை பண்ணவே முடியாதுங்க. they should feel that they have to do it. அந்த மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்ச வேலைகள் இருக்கும் இல்லையா, நம்ம when we start addressing them as a senior person in the family or ஒரு okay you have to do this ன்ற மாதிரி சொல்லும்போது they get more responsible, they start doing that.
Okay.
Hello ma'am.
I'll definitely try this. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you so much ma'am.
Hello ma'am, good evening.
Hi, good evening. சொல்லுங்க.
Hi, this is Alamelu.
Okay.
என்னோட ஹஸ்பண்ட் வந்து ஆக்சுவலா கொல்கத்தால ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க மேம். நான் இங்க சென்னையில இருக்கேன். கிட்ட வந்து எல்டர்லி பேரண்ட்ஸ் கூட இருக்கா, 7.5 years girl.
Okay.
Always she is feeling somewhat lonely and bored.
Definitely they are bored.
Yeah, asking for another kid, but we couldn't do that. Okay, so how to get rid of that thought from her?
It's an age phase. It's a phase. I would say there's a phase. Now that they're not meeting their friends or cousins, எந்த ஒரு சோஷியல் இன்டராக்ஷன் இல்ல, பிளே கிடையாது, ஸ்கூல் கிடையாது, absolutely their minds are idle. இந்த ரீசனால கூட they could over pressurize on this. I would suggest இப்போ உங்களுக்கு கூட வச்சுக்கிற ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா கொஞ்ச நாள் அந்த உங்க கூட வச்சுக்கோங்க, treat her special, make her feel that she's the only one you want to spend time with. எனக்கு இன்னொரு பாப்பா வந்து அம்மா will have to divert the time என்றதெல்லாம் புரிய வைக்கும்போது தான் they will start accepting the fact. It's a phase தான். கண்டிப்பா this will fade when they get busy.
Oh, okay. What other option I could adopt, ma'am? நான் வந்து ரொம்ப டைம் அவ கூட தான் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றேன், அவ கூடவே இருக்கேன். I will play with her, make her draw something. I will involve her in cooking. அந்த மாதிரி maximum efforts I am doing. I will involve her in planting some seeds in gardens, those things and all.
Okay.
But still then she needs some sibling.
இல்ல watch a movie with her. Both of you can have a movie time, your own movie time. வீட்ல இருக்கீங்க, ஆஃபீஸ் டைம் இல்லாத போது watch a movie with her, discuss a movie. Tell her to make some tea for you, snack for you. Hassle free cooking இருக்கும் இல்லைங்களா, அதெல்லாம் பண்ண வச்சு அவங்க டைமை நீங்க ப்ரொடக்டிவா ஆக்குபை பண்ணுங்க. ஸ்டார்ட் ரீடிங் புக்ஸ் வித் ஹர், டெல் ஹர் ஸ்டோரிஸ். நீங்க கதை படிச்சு அந்த ஸ்டோரிஸை ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, அவங்களுக்கு புக்ஸ் கொடுத்து படிச்சு உங்ககிட்ட சொல்லுங்க. Or you can even there are many blogs these days parents are doing actually. Parent and kid, அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க blogs ஏதாவது பண்ணலாம். She can, because the 7.5 year na she will know to read and write. இந்த ஸ்டேஜ்ல நீங்க அதை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் to keep her occupied.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. This is Preeti here, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I'm having a kid. He's 4 years old, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Often, what he's doing, வீட்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா லைக் ரொம்ப ஜம்பிங்ல ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டடா இருக்காரு. சோஃபா மேல ஏறி குதிக்கிறது, பெட் மேல ஏறி குதிக்கிறது. அண்ட் he likes to play ball inside. லைக் எங்களோட ரெசிடென்ஷியல் ஏரியா பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப லைக் வெஹிக்கிள்ஸ் போற மாதிரி ரொம்ப குட்டியா தான் இருக்கும். we can't send the kids also outside as the situation is like this now. So வீட்டுக்குள்ளே வந்து பால் விளையாடுறது அந்த மாதிரி சிச்சுவேஷன்ஸ் போயிட்டு அது வந்து அவரு ரொம்ப ஃபோர்ஸா அடிக்கும் போது நம்ம வந்து ஸ்டாப் பண்றோம், இது பண்ணாதீங்க, ரொம்ப ஃபோர்ஸா பண்ணாதீங்க, அங்க கண்ணாடி மேல பட்டுரும், இல்ல அதை பட்டுரும், இது பண்ண சோஃபா மேல ஏறி குதிக்கும் போதோ இல்ல பெட் மேல ஏறி குதிக்கும் போதோ பண்ணாதீங்கன்னு சொல்றோம். அப்ப அவருக்கு என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா லைக் ஹீஸ் அக்ரெசிவ் ஆகுறாரா என்னன்னு தெரியல, he started to shout madly. ரொம்ப வந்து கத்த ஆரம்பிக்கிறாரு. இது வந்து ஹஸ்பண்ட் என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா மேபி அவருக்கு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸா இருக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி சொல்றாரு. ஆனா குழந்தைக்கு இந்த 4 இயர்ஸ் கிட்டுக்கு வந்து ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்னா என்ன அப்படிங்கறது தெரியுமா?
கண்டிப்பா இருக்கும். Because இப்போ நமக்கு வந்து ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் என்னன்னா we not able to meet our friends, go to work, get into normal lifestyle. அவங்களுக்கும் அதே மாதிரி pressures இருக்கு. So when we are not able to occupy that productively, when they அவங்களோட எனர்ஜி லெவலுக்கு நம்மளால ப்ராப்பரா நம்ம ஆக்குபை பண்ண முடியலன்னா டெஃபினட்டா all these issues would pop in. நம்மளால முடிஞ்சது என்ன, if he is interested in jumping, morning skipping rope oda we can schedule a routine that 20-30 times he will skip with you or father. And sofa la jump பண்றாங்கன்னு சொல்லும்போது I have seen kids doing that. All that we can say is you're going to do that, amma is not going to reward you. நான் சொன்னேன் rewarding
reward board அது நான் கண்டிப்பா நோட் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கேன். ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ்.
அது நிறைய ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும். உங்க பேட் பிஹேவியர்ஸ் நீங்க நினைக்கிறது எல்லாமே you can change that with reward boards.
ஓகே ஃபைன். அதே மாதிரி இன்னொரு ஸ்மால் கொஸ்டின் மேம், லைக் வந்து ஒவ்வொரு டைம் வந்து குழந்தை ஒவ்வொரு மாதிரி இருக்கு. லைக் இன்னைக்கு வந்து ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து அவ ஷேர் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறான், நம்ம ஏதாவது ஒரு பென்சிலோ இல்ல டாய்ஸோ எடுத்து கொடுக்கணும்னா ஹி இஸ் டூயிங் தட். பட் அதுவே வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் நாள் வந்து அதே குழந்தைக்கு அந்த டாய் ஷேர் பண்ணா ஹி இஸ் நாட் டூயிங். நேத்து பண்ணேடா ஷேர் பண்ணியே இன்னைக்கு ஏன் பண்ணல அப்படின்னா he is not in that situation to share. அப்ப அது எப்படி நம்ம வந்து மாத்துறதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல மேம்.
இது நார்மல்ங்க, இது மாத்தணும்லாம் அப்படி பண்ண முடியாது. அவங்களோட மூட் ஸ்விங்ஸ் அன்னைக்கு எப்படி, but they have had a good sleep, but they don't want to give, this is very very normal. நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம அம்மா கிட்ட கேட்டிங்கன்னா they will also have some stories like this about us. This is very very normal. இது நீங்க பானிக் ஆகவே வேண்டாம். இது ரிப்பீட்டடா அவங்க இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணி for a bigger thing if he is doing, ஒரு அதாவது நீங்க ஃபுட் ஷேர் பண்ண சொல்றீங்கன்னா he is throwing the plate.
No, he is like அவருக்கு வந்து தெரியுது ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கூட என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு கேட்டா நம்ம ஷேர் பண்ணணும், ஹெல்ப் பண்ணணும், அந்த क्वेश्चंस ஆன்சர் பண்ற, அடிக்க கூடாது அப்படின்லாம் சொல்றாரு. பட் அது ரியலா வந்து பாக்கும்போது ஒன் டே he is doing and the other day வந்து he is not doing.
சோ அது நீ ஹாபிச்சுவலா தாங்க அது மாறும்.
ஓகே ஓகே.
ஒரு விஷயம் நம்ம எடுத்துக்கிறோம் ஷேரிங்னா, if we can call sharing நம்ம சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும் 1 வீக்குக்குன்னா we can call the neighboring kids example. நம்ம அபார்ட்மெண்ட்ல இருக்கிறோம்னா ஒரு 2-3 குழந்தைங்க ரிப்பீட்டடா வீட்டுக்கு கூப்பிட்டு 1 வீக் we can host கிட்டி பார்ட்டி மாதிரி இல்ல ஒரு சின்ன ஈவென்ட் மாதிரி வச்சு 2-3 குழந்தைங்க கண்டினியூஸா சேர்ந்து விளையாடும் போது ஷேரிங் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா டெவலப் ஆகும்.
ஃபைன் ஃபைன். ஓகே ஓகே.
ஒன் ஃபைன் டே பண்றாங்க, ஒரு நாள் பண்ணலன்னா இட்ஸ் just definitely mood swings because the child would want to do or not want to do. So I would tell you is உங்க குழந்தை பண்ணலன்னா நீங்க அது ரொம்ப emphasize பண்ணாதீங்க at this point of time. அது ஓவர் பிரஷர் ஆகும்போது purposefully they will not want to do.
ஓகே ஓகே ஃபைன் ஃபைன் மேம்.
சரிங்களா?
ஓகே ஷூர் ஷூர். நான் அந்த ரிவார்ட் போர்ட் கண்டிப்பா எடுத்துக்கிறேன். ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் மேம். உங்களோட செஷன் ரொம்ப இன்ஃபர்மேட்டிவா இருந்துச்சு. ஆஸ் அ டீச்சர் ஐ அம் ஒர்க்கிங் ஆஸ் அ டீச்சர் இன் சிபிஎஸ்இ ஸ்கூல் கனுவாயில வேல் இன்டர்நேஷனல் பப்ளிக் ஸ்கூல்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐ எம் ஹேண்ட்லிங் பிரைமரி கிட்ஸ் ஒன்லி. ஸோ இது யுவர் செஷன் வாஸ் ரியலி வெரி இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் அண்ட் வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல் டு மீ. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். Any more questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Priya.
Hi.
My son age is 5 years old. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, சொல்லுங்க.
மேம் அவன் வந்து மொபைல் ரொம்ப பார்ப்பான், பிளஸ் டிவியும் பார்ப்பாரு. மொபைல்னா டிவி, இப்ப டிவி ஆஃப் ஆன உடனே மொபைலுக்கு ஷிஃப்ட் ஆயிடுவான். அவன் வந்து கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணவே முடியல. அந்த மொபைல் பார்க்க கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நம்ம மொபைல் கொடுக்கும் போது ரொம்ப அவனோட ஆட்டிடியூடே ரொம்ப இதுவா இருக்கு, எப்படி சொல்ற, கொரட்டுத்தனமா இருக்கு. அப்படி உடனே அடிக்கிறது, அடிப்பாரு, கதவை போய் டமால் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுவாரு. அவங்க சிஸ்டர் ஒருத்தி இருக்கா, அவ கூட ரொம்ப இதுவா முரட்டுத்தனமா விளையாடுறான். எப்படி கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றது?
பிரியா, வேற எங்க இருக்கீங்க?
கோடம்பாக்கம்.
கோடம்பாக்கம். ஓகே. இப்போதைக்கு உங்களால வெளில அனுப்ப முடியாது, or you cannot put the child in any play now. But this is purely behavior to seek attention. அதாவது அவனுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு வேணும்ன்றது பிடிவாதம் பிடிச்சுதான் அவங்க கிட்ட வாங்குறாரு. Ignore பண்ணுங்க or give him some time out. Time out actually helps for the child to understand that this is a wrong behavior. இது repeatedா பண்றாங்கன்னா நம்ம அதுக்கப்புறம் we can think about an option to rule this out. பட் உங்களுக்கு இந்த மொபைல் இல்ல போன் டிவிக்கு மட்டும் இது பண்றாருன்னா டைம் அவுட் கொடுங்க. there is something which the child will want to do other than this. ரொம்ப ஃபேவரட்டான ஒரு டாய் இருக்கும், இல்ல ஃபேவரட்டான ஒரு ஆக்டிவிட்டி, தட் இஸ் காலை எந்திரிச்சதுமே இது செடிக்கு தண்ணி ஊற்றுறது அவர் தான் பண்ணுவார். இந்த மாதிரி ஃபேவரட்டான ஆக்டிவிட்டி எதுன்னு ரூல் அவுட் பண்ணி அந்த ஆக்டிவிட்டிக்கு நம்ம ஃப்ரீக்வெண்ட் டைம்ஸ் கொடுக்கலாம். நீ ரிப்பீட்டடா டைம் அவுட் அம்மா கொடுத்துட்டேன்னா இந்த ஆக்டிவிட்டி நீ பண்ணக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொன்னோம்னா they will not be able to handle. that is one way of
லிசன் பண்ணி கேட்டுப்பாங்க. ஆனா அது பண்ணனும் பிராக்டிகலா வரும்போது அவனால முடியறது இல்ல.
அது பேசிக்கா he knows to tune the mother, tune you. சோ அதனால அந்த மாதிரி பண்றாங்க. நீங்க இக்னோர் பண்ணுங்க. கத்துனாங்கன்னா இன்னொரு குட்டி இருக்காங்கன்னு சொன்னீங்களா, அவங்கள வந்து உங்ககிட்ட வச்சுக்கிட்டு சேஃபா நீங்க வந்து கத்துனா கத்துட்டுன்னு விடுங்க. ஒரு 5-10 minutes they'll calm down when you're not responding.
Okay, ma'am.
Because when they know that the mother is going to respond, they will develop this as a habit, as a behavior. நம்ம அந்த behavior encourage பண்ணல, this is wrong, அம்மா வந்து இதுக்கு ரியாக்டே பண்ணலன்னு தெரிஞ்சதுன்னா slowly they'll taper down. But this will be an trial and error method. ரொம்ப டைம் ஆகுங்க. நான் சொல்ற அந்த அவங்க ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் குறைய ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு பேஷண்டா நம்ம தான் ட்ரை பண்ணணும்.
ஓகே மேம். Thank you so much, ma'am. Very informative session, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's over.
Yes.
The session is very interesting and useful, ma'am. So we have all doubts. Actually, பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த doubts எல்லா மதர்ஸ்க்குமே இருக்கிறது. When we have a kids till in the 5 years வரைக்கும் இருக்கிற kidsக்கு we have to give a very important role. So till in the 5 years அவங்களுக்கு என்னென்ன நமக்கு இன்புட் கொடுக்கறோமோ அதுதான் நமக்கு we will get an output.
Yes.
So the session
elderly care எப்படி பாத்துக்கறோமோ அதே மாதிரி இந்த first 5 yearsங்க ஒரு வீட்ல வயசானவங்க நடக்க முடியாதவங்க இருந்தாங்கன்னா எப்படி ஒரு கூட ஹெல்ப் வச்சு பண்ண போறோமோ இந்த குழந்தைகள் ஸ்டேஜ்லயும் when we have a help or when we are not able to address that kid, when that is being addressed by someone else, it gets really easy for the child to go through this phase and get a normal lifestyle. When this is having a problem, அங்கதான் நமக்கு issues start ஆகுது. So the first 5 years normally போயிடுச்சு அப்படினாலே these things will definitely taper down and their kids lifestyle would also change in a very happy and hassle-free way.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you very much, ma'am. The session, I think all the participants are very much interested.
Okay.
So
any more doubts, I think you all can access me on the Facebook. Any doubts, you can put a message or ping me to my official number. It was a great session. Thank you, Kovai Wonder Moms. It was very useful for me as well as எனக்கு ஒரு interaction session மாதிரி இருந்தது to get few inputs from parents as in what and all the parents side ல இருந்து face பண்றாங்க அப்படினு. Very useful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Sharanya ma'am, thank you so much. It was very informative and a wonderful session.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was mine as well, knowing you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Participants, feedback link is on the chat box.
Yeah, participants, the feedback on chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form
Okay.
and send it to your ID. So we will receive a certificate.
Certificate will be sent in 1 week of time, maximum.
Yeah, thank you participants for your support. So we will meet on the next webinar session. And you have to follow us our Facebook page, Covey Wonder Woman, and also Instagram page is Covey Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we will do, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. This session will be living on Covey Wonder Woman Facebook page and also on YouTube.
Yeah, ma'am.